guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutors said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. Undeniable.
Hello, everybody. We're reconnecting. If you can hear me. Currently reconnecting. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Yes. Okay. Having technical difficulties, but thank you for joining. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for watching. Yeah, man, I'm here. I'm here to save the day, I guess. Yes. Hello. I'm here to save the day. Currently, Enrique is having technical difficulties, but we shall be there. Oh, it was his internet. He's repositioning his Starlink, and he shall be back shortly. What's going on, everybody? Anybody got anything new to talk about? Anyone? Lots of good things going on. Here we go. Maybe? There he is. He took me off. Hi. Hey, guys. There he
All
is.
right.
What's up, buddy?
You hear us?
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, Shane, can you hear me good when they talk low?
Yes.
Okay. You got the mic over there? Yeah, we had a little issue with the Starlink. Somebody had unplugged
Mic
it.
check,
Bobby,
mic check, 1, 2. Microphone check. Micah,
we're here with a whole crew.
microphone check.
Hey, I like that flag in the background there, fella.
Shane, check your mic.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Shane.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, buddy?
How you doing? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing,
So we're sitting here. Not that we're sitting here. We've been sitting here fucking almost 24 hours. I mean, we went home to sleep, but people have been out here. And the point of this thing is that we're going to be out here for 3 days straight, right? We started Friday at like 4, 6. We started at 6, and Monday we'll be out of here by Monday at 6. So we're trying to go here for 72 hours. Is that the right number? 72? Okay. Okay, I'm not retarded.
Yeah, you're right.
What?
Guys,
Looks aren't everything, Enrique.
What have you seen so far?
Well, I've seen it has been phenomenal to see a bunch of J6 brothers and sisters and catch up and spend time with, the people from the Freedom Corner who were standing outside the jail while we were suffering in the gulag.
It's kind of weird being on this side, right?
But it is.
And like seeing people through the window and being like, "Oh, is that Tina? Is that Tina?"
It is special because, I mean, I would much rather be out here than what we were going through.
Yeah.
But it's also cool to be here for somebody else, to like pay it forward, not pay it back, but to pay it forward to somebody else who's having a hard time. A 70-year-old Gold Star mother, 9 years over prosecuted, because of
The anniversary of her son's death is tomorrow.
wow.
Memorial Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, it's just we got to see her leave in visitation earlier. Her neighbors came out and spoke to us for a minute, who are the ones that were actually here visiting her.
I think she blew a kiss at me.
Okay. See,
I think she blew a kiss at me.
it's just really cool to see. It's really kind of taken me back, and then to get to spend time with the people from the corner, to see you guys. It always heals a little piece of my heart when I get to hang out with my J6 brothers and sisters, because I just feel like there's a bond there. Call it trauma bonding or whatever you want to call it. suffering, familiarity, whatever you want to call it. It is nice to hang out with your brothers and sisters who've been through something that we've both been
But
through.
check it out. When you're talking about suffering familiarity, I guess you just made up that word, but we'll go with it.
Yeah.
So she knows she's going home.
Yeah.
And you remember those last couple of days or weeks before Trump got in office that you knew was going to happen. Obviously, we were a little bit more nervous because we didn't know if it was going to happen day one. How do you think that she feels right now? Because I personally, like, she's having the time of her life right there,
Yeah.
right? Because she knows when she's going home.
Well, she knows, right? So the thing for us is, I didn't know. It was very touch and go and come to find out after the fact, it was very tentative. Like his Trump staff kind of tried to sabotage it a few different times from somebody that's the insider that we know. It was not a foregone conclusion, but she knows the date. They've said June 1st she's getting out.
She said 8 days. What was 8 days in a wake up?
Yeah, 8 days in a week.
No. So she's counting. She has that prison countdown going.
I literally didn't know I was getting out until 6:30 p.m. the day of the inauguration. They came to my door and they said, Jenkins, where were you at on January 6th? And I said, man, y'all know where I was at on January 6th. And they said, well, get over here. You're going home. And I was like, my heart sank. I was like, please don't play with me like that. And they were like, Jenkins, get your shit, whatever you're taking with you, and get over here to this door, put these handcuffs on, you're getting out of here. And I was like, man, they're not playing. And so it was like an instant. It was like from lockdown to freedom. And so it was kind of a drastic change. But man, hopefully it softens the landing for her, because a lot of people don't realize the difficulty that it is to transition from incarceration to everybody telling you how to wear your clothes, what to eat, when to go to bed, when to get up. Everything is a decision that's made for you to have liberty, like, in freedom to
We had a
choose.
problem with that this morning, right? We woke up. I think we woke. Well, I woke up. No, you woke up early.
At 5 a.m.
You woke up at 5 a.m. I woke up at like at 11:30. It's not a skin tone thing.
You're on black time.
BPT. I was on BPT this morning.
Yeah, but no, man, it is nice it is beautiful here.
I don't know. As a Floridian, this shit's cold as fuck.
It's like
I mean, right now it's good.
It's like
Yesterday,
70.
didn't fuck around.
It was wet and raining yesterday, so it was a bit chilly. But luckily, we brought hoodies and stuff. It has been nice to see.
I only brought one hoodie.
Can I tell a
I brought the
story?
Maduro hoodie.
Yeah, can I tell a story real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
So a wonderful lady named Tana, like Donna with a T though. She corrected me several times earlier. She used to write me while I was in the DC jail, or text me on the tablet.
She wrote me too.
And yeah, and so she was like, do you remember we used to talk, or we were talking? And I was like, I thought she meant like I talked to her earlier this week saying, hey, I'm going up to the Freedom Corner for Tina Peters. And I was like, I actually don't remember. Did I mention it to somebody else? And she was like, no, I used to text you on the tablet in DC jail. She's like, I have something for you. And so she went and got her purse and brought out this little orange bracelet, like a little handmade ring bracelet with these little beads on it, and it had my DC DOC number on it, and you could tell it had been used. And she said, I used to hold this little bracelet for you. Somebody was making these while we were in with our DC DOC numbers on it.
Okay.
And but she used to pray with it, and she's like, I want to give it to you. And so I just thought it was something that was really cool to think about, something that somebody held for years that was praying for us and praying for me. And I got to meet her for the first time today, not even knowing that she was going to be here, and she got to give me the bracelet today. So I just thought it was really, really cool.
Were you carrying it on you? You had it at home. Oh. And you're local. Okay.
God worked it out.
There's a lot of local people.
Yeah.
What do we
We just sing the anthem.
are we gonna sing the anthem? What time? 3 minutes?
Mr.
Oh, I didn't even notice the time. All right, so we're gonna show you guys this. I'm gonna turn the camera over.
You want to put it out there in the street, maybe? Or?
I don't know if it goes that far. So as you guys can see right behind over here is remember you got the mic on you. Over here, that's where Tina's window is. I can't see your screen, Reno, and I can't hear anything. Is it
Yeah,
Actually,
it's
I can
clear.
hear you.
It is clear. Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So at 9 o'clock, just so you guys know what's going on, at 9 o'clock every night, when we're in the gulag, we sing the national anthem.
With you.
A slight variation of it. And they did it at the same time outside. So we're about to do that
You on speaker.
in a second.
That's a lot of Okay. Oh, you muted us. Here, let's.
Shane, your mic's hot. Just it doesn't matter. It's just remember your mic's hot. Just in case he says something.
Don't say bad words.
Yeah. That was one time I was doing a documentary with like a news crew, and you had one of those attached mics, and I went into the bathroom. I had to unload, bro, and yeah, they heard the whole thing.
Nice.
All right.
That you see right there on the camera is Mickey, Ashley Babbitt's mom.
Real.
Okay, you promise down, Shane?
Yeah, well. So ready? Tell me when.
Let me pull that camera back.
2, 1. Oh, sacred sea, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam. Bright stripes and spikes through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocky red light, the bombs bursting in there, gave proof through the fight that our flag was still. Oh, sing us and stars spangled banner yet wave, for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Free USA! 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 Fight, fight, fight! We gotta get the mic back. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hey, sorry. No, you're ready to. Hey. All right. We're doing live interviews.
That was great.
Yeah. Hey, Mickey,
Great
when
job.
you can.
Mick.
When you can. I'm live over here. So let me ask you something. When did this? Because you know what? I actually don't know. When did this start? When did the national anthem start? Like you guys singing it outside the gulag.
The first night we were there.
The first night you were there.
August 1st, 2022.
And were the people inside? Were they singing it too?
They
or
were,
you-
the first
you
time I got
coordinated?
there, I was with, well, we coordinated it because at that time, Guy Reffitt was inside the DC gulag.
Okay.
So, you know,
Oh wait, are we not pointing? What just happened to that? There we go. We're good. It was not.
Tommy's Bigfoot hit it. No, Tommy
It
didn't
wasn't
hit it.
facing the right way. You're right.
Okay.
was
So
turning-
so the first night you guys did it. You coordinated with
Guy.
Guy.
Yeah.
And he was inside the DC. gulag.
Yes, I had come to DC. I decided I wanted to vigil. I wasn't sure how long I was going to be here. I never realized it was going to be 906 days. And it was the day that Guy Reffitt was getting sentenced. And that's the first day I met Nicole. And we decided to go, that she decided to come with us, and we went to the jail, and she was communicating with Guy from inside the jail. Then I got assaulted by one of the jail guards and then threatened by one of the jail guards. I couldn't use the tape though. Yeah, there was too much language and it was fuzzy.
Oh, we could say all the language in here.
I was the fucking chicken. Fuck, you know, all that. But besides, you didn't say anything besides him hit my hand, my phone go flying. And then he threatened Nicole's husband. He goes, I'm going to go pay your husband a visit. So we called the police. So the very first night we were in DC, we were all up in it. We had to wait for MPD to come. And that was our first taste of how
Check the stream. Here you go.
that was our first taste of how biased that the Metro Police could be. And and then we just started doing it every night. At first, when I got here, I had another person, and then it just kind of grew into something organically.
So you feel trying to deter you by I mean,
Yeah.
they gave us the business when we first got there.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like they wanted to deter you guys from being there and discourage it.
Officer Hauser, who was out there the night that I was assaulted, and he was obnoxious, and Me and Nicole both, after the police left, he was very cocky, very arrogant. You know how the DC guards.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And we looked at him, we said, "We'll be back, fucker." And so we were, and we were there for 906 days. And they moved him off the front. As a matter of fact, when I was going in for visitation one time, I saw him work in the visitation room.
Well, I forgot he's the only white guard they have in the whole
He was the only.
Is he the one that assaulted you?
No.
Okay.
He was the man in charge when I got assaulted. And now I'm not sure he was the man in charge when we left because there was a big brouhaha.
He's the ma'am in charge now?
Something, I don't know. You know. See, you never know.
So wait, so on that first day you went for the sentencing, and then did you have any breaks in between where you started counting 900, or was that day one and then 900?
That was day one.
And then there was never a day that there wasn't people
Day
out
one
there.
was Guy Reffitt sentencing.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know. I didn't really.
And that was the
record
very first time I ever met Nicole.
Well, that was it just
And then the media outside was so bad that we had just had an instant bond with each other.
from an inside perspective, that was a rough day because we were all like anticipating, like this is the first trial, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, they just gave him 7 years. He's 84 months. That's what he got." It's the same thing I got, but we were.
87.
I was in Miami and I heard it, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
But then you start calculating. I'm like, well, I wasn't there, so maybe they give me like half. I was like, oh,
it was like it knocked the wind out of everybody's sails. Everybody was like, "This is going to be bad." And they come along like to find out, some people were just like, "I'm not risking that,"
No, I remember the process. And you can't really, I think Nicole's right when she said, don't take a plea deal. If everybody takes the government to task, it'll be a whole new ballgame. But then again, you can't blame people for not wanting to take that risk. You can't blame them for not wanting to get back to their family. It's okay. You say you did this and let us put another notch on our belt and you can go home. But if you don't, you're facing.
It's one thing for Shane to say, "I'm not taking a plea," but then when they say, "Okay, Shane, your plea offer is 4 to 5 years." But if you go to trial, you're getting 10 to 12 years. And then I go back and I tell my wife, I'm not married, but say I have a wife.
2 years in.
Yeah, and I go back and I tell my wife, "Hey, baby, I can take 4 or 5 years now, or I can go to trial and stand on my principle and what I believe in, and I might get 10 to 12." And she's going to say, "Can you do the math? 4 to 5 is like half of 10 to 12." And so I understand people with children and they're married.
Yeah, I don't blame them for that.
Blame anybody for everybody had their own choices to make. What was upsetting to me was the pressure put on people to say we had no business there that day, which would have ultimately resulted in the fact that my daughter died for nothing, because what people need to know is the American people had every friggin' right to be there that day. And we talked about it earlier. If half the election was stolen and the rest of us didn't show up, shame on us. And so the allocutions were hard for me, and yet I understand them.
Well, same for me. I would have considered a plea offer if they didn't want me to say President Trump misled me. President Trump called me to D.C. I feel betrayed. That's not what they wanted. They wanted to give you pretty much, not exactly, but pretty much a scripted of what they require you to say. Yeah, I denounce my faith or my president, whatever. They wanted you to, and I was like, I'm not going to lie. I actually told them, they offered me 92 to 115 months. I told them I would love to consider your plea offer, but I don't negotiate with terrorists. So,
hey, Reno?
And it does take a certain amount of
Hey, Reno?
Yeah, go ahead.
to stand up.
We're good on audio,
And
right?
a certain amount
Yes,
of risk and
absolutely.
a certain amount of, you do have to consider there are people counting on you, and this, as well as I do, this process killed families.
Yeah.
It left children without fathers and without Christmases and without birthdays and graduation dresses and everything, all the little things that matter and all the big things that, little things that you would never think of that it costs people.
in my personal situation, I was fortunate and blessed to be a leader in the pod, and I knew my kids were safe at home with their moms. They were already all situated. They've been living with their moms. And I just knew that people are watching me, and I could not fold under that. I just wouldn't. I couldn't. I told them I'd rather take 10,000 years. I wouldn't give a damn if they said you can get out tomorrow if you say President Trump made you do it. I'm not doing it. I would rather go to trial and get 10,000 years than to compromise who I am as a man, because my children are also looking at me.
Right.
And my daughter is probably more liberal than I would like, but she's like, "Dad, I don't necessarily agree with everything that you and Trump believe in." She goes, "But I want you to know that I'm proud of you for standing up and standing for what you believe in," So.
Yeah, and along those lines too, a video that I didn't see till well after 2021 was just a small clip of Ashley talking to Billy Cressman, I believe, and she said, "I will die a free woman before I bend a knee to these motherfuckers," and it was just hauntingly prophetic, just heartbreaking, hauntingly prophetic, and yet it made me so proud of her. You know.
I mean, that was, it's weird you say that because there was a moment as I was climbing up to the lower West Terrace and I grabbed this wall, this barrier wall, before I got up onto where the inauguration stage. And I remember stopping when I grabbed that wall, and it was like this little whisper of a voice in my head said, "Shane, this is dangerous." And I like literally stopped mid climbing over the wall, and I'm just like thinking, I'm like, why am I here? And I'm like, I'm here to protest what I believe is a stolen election. I'm here for my children and future generations. And I was just like, if I die here, so be it. It's worth it. And I just knew that I had to keep going forward.
That's what I mean. In her eyes, it may have been, and she meant every word she said, and she backed that up with a blank check she wrote with her life, going over and serving this country in the Middle East for 4 tours of duty at her young age. So she was definitely the walk, not the talk. But in my estimation and in my hindsight point of view, to me, I wouldn't swap anything for my daughter's life, which also upsets me when people say, well, your family got a settlement and you should have. That's not justice. That's tainted, hush, blood money. And justice is something different. So
and to tie it to Tina Peters, she stood up for something. She was trying to be a whistleblower, expose what was going on with the 2020 election, and it cost her 9 years of her life, which I would argue is, if you Google what first-time bank robbers get, it's less than 9 years, which Tina Peters got, a Gold Star mom, 70 years old, never been in trouble a day in her life. And she got sentenced to more than what a bank robber would get on their first offense.
yes, and the nonviolent crime. It's like, how many people do you know with a first offense and a nonviolent crime that sat in jail that long? Because she caught the cheaters cheating.
Thank God it's over June the 1st.
Well, Shane, I appreciate the way you said that, but thank God she's out of jail on June. But as we've been talking about so far, and we'll continue to talk about all weekend, it's not over for her. This is just the next step in her journey.
Right. No. I'm laughing because me out of all people with the foundation, I should know that. I thought when we got released,
You just want to be happy that she's getting out of jail, and that's just something to celebrate. It absolutely is a big hurdle. But TinaPeters.us, that's where you can donate and help her with her legal fund. And like Mr. Pollock said, if everybody gives $1 and you call your friends, 10 friends, that's what Mr. Pollock wants you to call 10 friends and ask them to give $1. So, little amounts add up. So Tina's got a long road ahead of her.
and we say that too, just reminding me, but saying it's over, she's got to get out and put her life back together. I don't know where she's going to live or what. I don't know who's been taking care of. If she has pets, I don't know what's going on, but you have to put your life back together, and you haven't had income. You've been in here probably having a horrible diet and all these different things. You've got to try to find your peace. You probably have to withdraw and take some time. That's probably the last thing. I don't know if she has retirement or money socked away or whatever, but she's got to prepare, and you can help her with that. Going to TinaPeters.us and help her out. $5, $10 will go a long way.
Yeah. And I know, like from being in DC, we were there completely on the donations of the American people and help from Stand in the Gap, which came from donations from the American people. But small amounts add up. And when you get a donation that's $5, the person that sent you that $5 means it. You know what I mean? It's like that. If you can afford to give more, of course, but the little donations mean so much because maybe that person went without their lunch that day or their whatever, but $5 is a sacrifice that some American people can't afford right now, and yet they do, and they did, and those small amounts add up.
Well, I will say this, like running the nonprofit and seeing the donations that come in, we don't have $100,000 donors, $1 million donors. What we have is the backing of the everyday blue collar, like $100, $50 donations. That's our sweet spot. And the thing is like, that's what allowed me to be here today.
Yeah.
And that's what has funded anything that we do through Stand in the Gap has come from the sweat of the American people. Not only that, we have a mailing address, right? And we get these checks. We get quite a few checks every week or so, but they're like $10, $5, $15. And they're like these little, I just imagine them in my mind. And a lot of them are like, write a little note. I'm 75 years old on disability or on Social Security.
Checks and
checks. And this is all I can send. I think about, God bless these little blue haired old ladies that just, it reminds me of the story in the Bible whenever it's a lady throws like the penny in the well and like, they're like like, what is that? They're like, God, I'm misquoting it, but they're kind of clowning her because she threw like a penny in the well, and like, and they're like, she just gave that was everything she had, and she threw it in there. They think about, you've got a lot of money and you just give a little, that's nothing, but she just threw everything she had in the well. It's like,
So it's giving from your heart, and that means a lot to people that you're giving to.
yeah, no, absolutely. And we have to be good stewards of that. And we're thankful for the Stand in the Gap Foundation is so thankful for the support of the American people, and thankful for people like you. It's been very enlightening. Enrique and I were talking about it a minute ago, from being on the inside, flashing our lights to the people on the outside, singing the anthem on the inside, to be
To see those like
to be able to be this is my first Freedom Corner ever, to be able to be here, and enjoy this has just been phenomenal. And so we're so thankful for you and for all your crew and the team. And it is a labor of love, because I know there's days you're probably like, oh, I don't want to be around all these people, I want to strangle somebody, but
well, there you know. Whenever you're with somebody for that many hours or whatever, and when we did the Eagles Nest, there were people that came together in that house and lived together that didn't know each other. Do you need to grab that?
I didn't even get that.
No, I'm trying for the audio not to
Our
split.
living situation was like we were thrown in with people that we didn't know. Like I said, the first day I met Nicole was August 1st. And
Okay.
at some point, Tommy Tatum lived with us. Gary McBride lived with us. Tammy, and we were a very cooperative house. And then, when people came into town for trials, we would have a place for them to stay and pick people up from the airport, went to, all that stuff. And like that was all provided by American people.
Did you argue like brothers and sisters in that house?
Occasionally.
Well, you know what? It's the same thing in the gulag. The same thing. We fought like literally physically fought. Like we argued. There was divides and rifts and
Shane
shit.
like fighting in the bathroom naked.
You fight harder. You fight harder when you're naked. No, not really. But but the thing is and I won't mention names, but there were people that I really didn't care for from times. But I will say that even those people that I probably would rank on the lowest list of I like the most to the least, like I have loved seeing even the lowest ranking members on that list. And it is every time I get to spend time with those people, all my J6 family, I feel like a little bit of piece of my heart is healed. And it just
Squabbles melt away. Because I will say everybody that's ever lived in our home, I do have love for. So, and always, even through the squabbles and
except for
I do have an except for.
who is it?
Hey, I'm not doing it.
You heard it here first.
And yet that person helped me too. And I
Son of a-
him for that too. He was a son of a bitch. Ended up being a son of a bitch in the end, but we're not here to talk about
Is he
him.
still
I'll say it since Mike's saying Jake Lang.
That it really is.
Is it Tommy knows?
Don't forget. Never mind.
I have love
Never
for
mind.
Tom.
I said it under my breath here.
We're not gonna see it.
It's not.
Tommy Tatum.
Me and Tommy had love for Tommy and always.
Say it for them. It's Jake Lang.
Well, I'm glad that it was. I mean, it was special to be when we got to come back
can't
to
even
DC
hear me.
right after we were released to come back for CPAC and be at the house with everybody.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
nobody can
special
hear you
days.
at all.
It is. I mean, it's been an ongoing.
I know.
don't wanna
It's good.
I hope we have some more political prisoners so we can link up and celebrate again. But if there is, you can bet your ass we're going to be there, and I'm going to come see my friends. So
Good. I won't say I'll look forward to that because I hope we never have to do this again because, but I'm sure we will unless our whole form of government changes because
well, I will say this: I'm not drinking anymore. I've been sober almost 2 months now, and so the last time I saw Mickey, I got drunk and hit on her. So we're not going to worry about that.
Hey Shane, I got a beer. You want it? There's a beer in the cooler.
time. It was a time ago. It's okay.
That's not happening anymore because I'm not drinking. So no, it is good. It is God is good, man. God is healing me. He brought me through some rough times, and I was wallowing in some stuff. And you know what was really encouraging? I can talk forever, but I watched this thing.
Yeah, no,
Bob
you
was
could.
talking about John 5, and he was saying Jesus is talking to the man at the well, and he asked the man at the well, he's like, because the story is the Spirit comes down to the well, the water, and the first person to get in the water is healed, right? And so the guy, Jesus is asking this guy who's laying on this mat by the well, do you want to be healed? And the guy's it doesn't say this, but I hear it in my mind. It's like, well, I'm old and everybody runs down here and beats me into the water. I'm crippled. I've got arthritis. I can't move fast enough. And Jesus I didn't ask all that. I said, do you want to be healed? And I'm sitting there thinking, like, that's me. Like, I was wallowing in emotional and mental scarring from all this solitary. Yeah, but I mean, I just was kind of like, I get field calls from guys that are hurting all the time, like going through just life is kicking them in the ass. And that's an excuse, man. I need to go drink because I'm wallowing it. Yeah. And so it was just like Jesus is asking me, do you want to be healed, Shane? I'm like, I've got, it says in the Bible, it says, though a righteous man falls 7 times, he gets back up. The main thing is you can't stay down and wallow in it. You've got to get back up. And if you want to be healed, you got to just make a way for it to happen. You better be waiting by the water to get in that water to get healed. So I'm thankful for, everybody that supported me. And, it was hard the first 30 days not drinking and stuff like that, but it has been great since then. It has been really good all the way.
And you feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not wasting money. I'm not waking up hungover. Enrique's giving me
We have to start wrapping because we got to move the Starlink
okay.
over, and then we'll reconnect the stream.
Love you, Mickey. Thanks for tuning in to War Boy Studios.
Well, no. We're Reno, can you leave the stream on standby and don't leave so it won't reconnect because we got to reconnect. Like, you want to get over here? At least have the browser open, and I'll start up the standby screen, and we'll be back.
Yeah.
Give me about 10 minutes. I got to reposition the car,
Sarah.
and then reconnect the. Let's get this music off. And there we go. Let's full screen. All right. Sorry, we had to reposition. This stream is brought to you by Starlink. This is the first time I use it for this. And it's been amazing. Reno, how good's the video quality? Well, Reno says it's pretty good. Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
Wait, what scene is this? Oh, we're on standby screen. Let's go back to, let's go main. There we go.
All right.
But yeah, this first time we use the Starlink, it's fucking amazing. Connection is fucking, I use it for like basic stuff like browsing and stuff like that, but I've never used it to stream.
The home kit waiting on my mini to come in. I'm excited because you can carry it around in your backpack, pretty much, huh?
We got.
I can, yeah, that's a good thing about it. It's like a little bit bigger than an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And like you could carry it around with you. And for some reason, they gave me the roaming plan for $55.
You know, it's supposed to be 50% off if you have the home kit or something like that. I was looking for the caveat, but if you're like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was supposed to be like $200 for 60 days, something like that.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's fucking working perfect.
I got the whole kit, the mini and the home kit for $20 is all it cost me. They had a special like last
like the
couple weeks
actual
ago.
device is $20.
Yeah, no, they give you what's called a free rental. So if you sign up for a year plan at whatever the rate is, you get free rentals of the home equipment and the mini. And then it was like 2 weeks ago. And if you get people referrals,
What's the home equipment?
It's the bigger dish and the home router. It's a bigger router. It covers more area.
Okay.
And it's a bigger dish. And they're actually made, they're like the mini's made for carrying around and being tossed around and beat up a little bit. If you bang the home dish, it'll break.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to mount it up and everything pretty good.
Yeah, no, I just put it in my fucking backpack.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
And so you don't have to. Do you have to not aim it at the satellites?
So
at the
if you don't, if you aim it right, like if you aim it wrong, it still has connection.
Yeah,
it's still pretty good. But when you optimize it, when you put it on, it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's getting like 200 megs on the down and like 50 on the up.
Look, and the followers you got, if you could give the copy, the referral plan they have, like if for every person who signs up, you get a free month. I got 5 people. I got like 15,000 followers at most. So I did 2 posts and I got 5 people to sign up. So I got almost half a year of Starlink for free.
Can you
Shit,
mount?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I got to sign
You'll
up.
see it. You'll see the little shaking hands in the app. That's the referral tab. And
and
the link's right there.
Link out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of like the
I
Tesla.
put it in my chat GPT. I said, write a promo for this. And it writes it up for me. Like it makes the images and everything.
Can you mount that? Can you mount that Starlink to your backpack?
I think you could, but it's got to be pointing up.
Right.
Like the home installation is a whole nother ballgame. You got to
move it,
move around, and it shows you all the satellites in the sky. Like, ding, 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 ding.
No,
ding,
this
ding,
is what the app like shows you where it's at.
Yeah,
but I had it pointing the right way, so I think you'd be able to put it on a backpack. The problem is you got like a battery thing.
That battery thing we were talking about earlier, it's awesome the one they make for it, but it only lasts 2 hours.
They make one that's like a Milwaukee or a
you
DeWalt
were telling
battery,
me that.
and those things are expensive anyways. But if you
like
carry
$100
them,
each.
it's pretty convenient.
If you happen to be an electrician with 8 of those batteries, that would be really convenient. Yeah.
And you'd have internet wherever you go. But
and also carrying it off whatever. It's been years since I went on a cruise. You're talking about taking it on. I think they have those maritime plans and stuff too. But
they're expensive
just to have the internet. Because I took a cruise one time. I had no internet for 3 days. I just didn't know what was happening in the world. Right. But at least you can carry it out there. At least the technology and the satellites are lower orbit too. Right.
Yeah.
So that makes it. I think the latency and all that's
that's great. Tommy, you've been out. You were out at Freedom Corner a lot.
I was there a little over a year.
Okay. Like almost every day?
Well, I did like, I was there for like 7 or 8 months every day. And then I ended up having gallbladder surgery removal. So I went home for a few months and then I came back and did another 3-4 months, whatever it was.
What's that in the winter?
It was really, really cold.
Yeah.
So like we had a Freedom Corner is what we called it, right? But when on the really, really cold nights, and the Chinese Americans, I don't know if we've mentioned them enough here today, they're our biggest supporters. I mean, they were there every night with us, a couple of them every night the whole time.
They'd go visit everybody.
Yes, yeah, and they go visit everybody. And it was I actually wrote a little Substack about them. It's like a little church they have, and we would go to church with them and stuff. They're like family too. But anyway, we would get the garbage can and we get some cardboard boxes and line it up in a little wrangle, and we had those Mr. Buddy heaters, like 4 or 5 of them. And we would build what we called Freedom Hut, and we would all huddle together and have those heaters going off so we wouldn't freeze to death. But Yeah, it was cold a couple of nights.
Were they gas heaters or?
Yeah, like the propane bottle. The Mr.
Okay.
Buddy.
So you just go change the.
Yes, yes. Yeah. It was cold, but 2 hours. You stand out in the cold 3 hours, but you get really cold after about an hour and a half.
What time would you guys start?
So
What
we
time
would
you guys leave?
every night we would leave our house around 6:15 and get to the original around 7 and start it at 7 and go till 9:30. It's just balanced on top anyway because I don't have the clip, so you're fine. If you don't balance it back up there,
I don't think we need it.
we don't need it.
Take the light off completely.
What is it? Are you good?
Yeah, we do need it.
We do need it.
We do need it.
They moved it. I feel
Tammy
like
gets
I
here.
was
We got
having a
one with the
stroke.
clip, so we won't be breaking our light all night. Anyway, we're good. Propane. Yeah, I was telling Enrique about Freedom Hut. Nicole, do you remember Freedom Hut? Remember the really, really cold night?
Stuck heaters in it.
Yeah.
We had a few 17. Okay, we had a few 17.
Let's talk with Enrique.
Well, all right.
Before you go. Okay, the people.
You're leaving?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Your shift's over.
Soon. Bye, sweetie. Thank you. Man. Oh, thank you so much. We'll see y'all. Y'all be safe.
So you were freezing to death on Freedom Corner.
Oh yeah, we had a few 17-degree nights and everything, and we took boxes. And the Chinese Americans are just so creative, and they set us up a Freedom Hut. They called it, So I don't know. It was cold. It was hot. It was rainy. It was whatever it is.
That the haters.
Yeah. I always say that I wouldn't like. Obviously, the reason that my name's known is not because of the right. It's because of the left.
It is.
They've kind of created all of us.
They did. Oh,
Right?
they have. They have.
Because I don't think the establishment right would promote us, and they still don't.
They still don't.
So the left has made people listen to us.
More than they realize.
Yeah.
And they would stalk us going to the courtrooms. They would stalk y'all.
The house every day. Every day we left the house.
It gets actually take the foam off of it.
Okay.
Once you take the foam
Okay.
off, you could.
Yeah, so every day we left the house, we had to be prepared for somebody to come around the corner and put a camera in our face on a live stream and do and say the most horrendous thing they could think of to get a reaction out of us.
But, I had a lot of left people that I had to deal with. Thank you. In the courtrooms a lot, that I saw
You were
every
in the
day.
courtroom a couple times. I saw you a whole bunch of
Yeah.
times.
Y'all had a lot of support. So I would come in just, because there were so many Jan Sixers that did not have one person.
Person come in. Yeah.
Right. And there was a point of time when it was hot and heavy for the Jan Sixers in the courthouse, that you couldn't get to all of them in a day. You couldn't even touch base with all of the people in a day. And that's really, even before. And I think a lot of the Jan Sixers, they know this, especially the ones that took the government to task, how slow the process actually is. And if we would have stayed more focused and together in the beginning, but they separate, they had us all so afraid. And everybody would have taken the government to task. It would have shut that courthouse down. They wouldn't have been able to keep up with the prosecutions. They couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't have done it.
I was telling people to do that. Look, I don't hold anything against people.
I don't either because
But
we know.
that would have been. Oh, tell John I said hi.
He's going to call in
Is he
tomorrow.
watching?
Yeah, he's calling in tomorrow to talk about because he left the DOJ.
Amazing.
He's amazing.
Amazing. He's a
amazing.
firecracker.
He is, and
His article at the Gateway Pundit was spot on.
It was, and he left the DOJ for a reason. He thought he could get in there and change it.
Yeah.
And you just can't change it from the inside. You got to, you can't.
And that's
He had me. He invited me to the DOJ a couple months ago. Me and another J6er went, and he was telling us that they're doing nothing for you guys here. Just and he had Jared Wise, who also was a J6er, who became worked at the DOJ too, and he quit shortly after John Grossman. He's like, they're doing nothing too. So that's some of my reason why I left
can
DC.
say it.
What's that?
Just ask John if I can say it.
John Enrique wants to know if he can say it.
Yeah. I'll wait for his text. But something amazing that I didn't, I was in the gulag for 3 months and you guys were outside. And I think one of those nights, George Santos was out there.
Yeah.
which is crazy, right? Like you got Tina Peters that went out there, George Santos, and then little
Matt
they
Gaetz
go
came
ahead and they were in prison. Well, it was up. So I walked the halls of the DOJ with John, and he was telling me that he's like, look, I'm trying, but it's this giant machine, this machine that you got to think about this. The DOJ has been around, for a very long time, and it's already, like it's rooted in its bureaucracy. So even if we were to get, 3 or 4 Trump terms with people at the DOJ that actually want to change it, and I'm not saying that there isn't people in there that want to change it. I guess John knows my strategy here. Like you won't be able to change it, right? You really literally would have to destroy it completely, fire everybody and start from scratch and start all the policy from scratch before you hire anybody. Like get a team in there, because in some of these cases where like the tort claims or the lawsuits, like typically like what we're seeing, like all the motions that we're putting in our main lawsuit, like it's pretty elementary stuff. And I think there's a lot of people in there that would like to be like, okay, these people deserve it. This is a great argument, but their policy and their personnel are stopping it from happening.
Is it because all these people's careers and credentials are based on, hey, I worked at the DOJ for 10 years and that makes me an expert in authority?
For the most part, it's a career. Some of the political appointments too have been absolute shit. And again, I'm watching my words, because those people also look, my words, like when I say things, I try to be very careful, which usually I'm not. Usually I just say what's on my mind, but I feel like it's important, like these reparations, these getting this financial situation fixed for the J6ers is at the top of my priority. And I'll do it by hook or by crook, by any means necessary. And if I have to do whatever I have to do, I'm doing it. I'm not saying by any means violence or anything. I'm just saying, like, I use a tact, and there's other people that are the sledgehammer, and both of those are needed in this situation.
It's weird for me, Enrique, because I've never heard or seen you say anything that's inflammatory, right? So I don't know, like I've always heard you speak very pragmatically, and so I don't know how they've made you into this boogeyman, but I also know they take you seriously when you say certain things.
Yeah. And I think it's just like, and if you notice, like all the people that they targeted, even outside of J6, it's all people that are really effective at communicating and effective at doing things, right? You got people like Alex Jones, for example, like him or hate him for the things he says. He's been amazing and very effective in like bringing people over and making people understand. Because when you first started the MAGA movement, like for the most part, like when you're young, you start as a libertarian. Oh, I want free weed.
This is so true. This is
This is so
but
you evolve.
Yeah.
You evolve.
It's not reality.
Yeah.
You got to work within a system.
More days too. You see different things.
Yeah.
Viewers want to know where they can find you.
So where you could find me specifically is on Twitter. You could either search my name, Enrique Tario, or you could put @Noble1, and that's spelled out ONE, not just a number. And you could find me there, and you could find our studio where we have conversations like this almost on a daily basis at Warboy Studios. And most of those Warboys, my hosts are all J6ers. Barry Ramey,
Who's super passionate.
Bobby Pickles, yeah, but Barry has some pipes on him.
He does.
Barry has some pipes on him. But Nicole, something I found out, and that's why I was saying I was only in the gulag for 3 months. I didn't even know that this was going on. The only thing I heard was, the people in the gulag sang the national anthem, and I thought that was cool. But when I got there, I didn't know that you guys outside were doing the same thing.
Right.
And something I just found out through talking to Mickey was those 900 plus days straight started at your husband's sentencing.
Yes.
So tell me more about that.
Well, that was the first day I met Mickey also. And, Guy's situation was a bit different than other Jan Sixers because it was like everybody was like stood back to watch and wait and see how all of it was going to play out. So it was always so taboo. So we didn't have a lot of support within the courtroom. It was like we had Tommy was a support. But so at the sentencing, Mickey was flying in. She was going to start the vigil that night. And she sat there right with us during it. And it was tough, because I had to go right out, and Guy had so much media because of being the first trial, and
I was watching it like a hawk
and
from jail. From prison.
Saying you had the worst. Let me just real quick. Guy, not that separated from other January 6ers, but they had all those crazy COVID restrictions in place where the jury had to sit down in the gallery and they would only let Nicole and one press member in, and everybody's still wearing the mask
during this trial.
Yeah.
But the amount of media, and Mickey really showed me, a lot of support. Came out. Of course, Guy had just been sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. And I was pissed.
It was that same night?
Yeah. And then we left from being sentenced, Guy being sentenced, and went out to Harry's. Yeah. Had to relaxed a bit. And then
For the right-wing extremists?
well, that's where we went. And so we went out to the jail. And of course, there was no barricades, anything set up like it was for us later. So we didn't really know where to go other than they were on the side of the jail by the cemetery. So we go out there, and Mickey's so funny at telling the story, but because she was assaulted that night. She was.
It's fine.
So it was all kind of ragtag, which is how we've done the whole Freedom Corner thing. You just set up, you do it, and continue on doing it. So we were out there in the Capitol Police, not Capitol Police, the guard, who was it, Hauser? And he had already been antagonizing the Jan Sixers inside. So yeah, that's all that happened. I went home and really wrapped my head around Guy.
Except that we had to call the Metro Police.
Oh, we had to call all kinds of stuff. It was a mess,
So what you didn't know, Mickey, was I had already met Nicole, and I was like, I can't wait till Nicole gets here for this. And I'm calling for the timing because you got assaulted because I had met Kara. I guess you guys figured I was big and I could come protect you or whatever. So I showed up that week, and then I was super excited when you finally decided to come and do the vigil permanently. I was like, that's the fire we need.
I went home and because it's just shocking. You got all that time. It's like you have to take a minute, wrap your brain around like what are the next steps. So I did do that for about 3 weeks, and Guy Wesley called me because I was literally, this is no lie, I was going, and lots of Jan 6 family members can attest to this. I was getting up, I was going to work, I was crying in the 6 minutes it took me to get to work, dry my face off, work, get off work, go home, lay in bed, cry until I went to, bed. And Guy called me, and he was worried, little baby, was worried about me. And he was like, you've got to get up and fight. And I said, you're absolutely right. I have to. And then the next day is when Colton and the bear spray thing happened inside the jail, and him trying to get his medication, and they sprayed him for not having a mask on while he was trying to take medication, And I called Mickey and I said, hey, are you doing the vigil? And she goes, I'm going to do it another month. And I said, all right, I got me a ticket.
That was going to be my next question. So you said you guys went that night and you were like, okay, we'll do this for a little bit. You didn't expect to do this for...
No, Mickey had only expected to do it for a month.
Okay.
There were lots of things.
And then, it's a story about Freedom Corner because we really had to struggle. And we can go on and on about it, but CPAC really changed things while y'all were still locked up. We took the last of our money we had, really, to stay in DC, and we had a benefactor buy CPAC tickets. And we bought the Ashley Babbitt shirts that had Ashley on, the ones that we wear, and Roseanne on the back. And at the end of that, and all we did was walk it. We walked it and talked it and walked it and talked to anybody that would listen. And that was the year that Steve Bannon called it J6 Pack, because even though none of the speakers were speaking about J6, the presence of Mickey, the presence of the Ashley Babbitt shirts in your face everywhere made people have a conversation. And that really started changing things from there,
I want to ask you a personal question. because I remember what it felt like for me, right? So your husband gets sentenced to 7 years, and I remember at the time we didn't know where the gauge was going to fall, you know. So I'm going to ask a short question and then a longer question. Were you expecting what he got?
I was, because they had tried to give him the terroristic enhancement. He was the first one, and I really thought because
Was this Judge Friedrich?
Yes.
Okay.
Dabney Friedrich.
Yeah.
She that bitch Dabney Friedrich.
That bitch Carol Baskins.
She was on our Dunsky board also.
We're on night vision mode right now. Did that die?
We had a Dunsky board and a.
We had
Here, I could put my phone on there as a light.
but
Okay.
well,
Okay, so go ahead.
so the
They
second
can still see us. It's just
Yeah,
darker.
So I was pissed. I was mad. I was expecting. I was horrified that they were going to give him the 20+ years they wanted to.
What did they ask? They asked for 20
They
plus.
asked like 24. I think is what like the hard ask was. However months that is, in
Yeah.
how they do it. And I was horrified. Because they had thrown the
It's like
book at him.
280.
Yeah, it's insane. And so I was like, they're calling you a terrorist, and I mean, I couldn't believe it. Judge Friedrich did not give him that charge because he wasn't charged with conspiracy, and that is the reason he didn't receive that charge.
Okay.
I mean, that enhancement.
Okay.
But it was horrifying because you'd already seen them use him as an example to make other Jan Sixers afraid of going to task.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the more personal question
Mm-hmm.
was, okay, so you leave the courtroom, you get 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
Feels horrible, I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes time for him to go back to his unit and
Mhm.
call you. How was that call? That first call? Was it, did he call right after that same day?
Well, he called after he saw me on the news
Okay.
and said, "Baby, you're a badass."
This is after the trial.
This is after the after the
His
sentencing.
demeanor.
His demeanor was, he was more concerned about me and the girls. His demeanor, his complete focus was trying to get us to not be so freaked out.
Yeah.
Honestly, and but that is Guy at the very beginning. From the very, very beginning, said it's going to be okay. It's gonna work out.
Did you have that conversation with him after he got pardoned about what his true feelings were when he had that call with you? Have you ever asked him?
No, I haven't. I have not asked him that because
I'd
I know that his
encourage
heart
you.
was broken.
I'd encourage you to ask him because let me tell you, for me,
Mhm.
so something weird happened at our sentencing. I was supposed to go first, and I prepared my speech to go first, right? And the reason why I say I prepared my speech to go first is because I knew, depending on what happens to me, it affected the 4 other guys, right? So I wanted to set a tone. And that morning, me and Ethan got on the bus together because we were the first 2.
Right.
We get to the jail. We get to the courthouse. We're in the catacombs downstairs, and I'm fucking a nervous wreck. So is he. And they go ahead, and Marshall comes and he goes, "Hey, your sentencing's been canceled." And I'm like, "Wait, what? What do you mean sentencing canceled?" So we go back and we're like, "What the fuck happened?" So when we get back, they're like, "Hey, the judge is sick." And I was like,
Yeah.
I hope he fucking croaks,
Right.
And so whatever. The next day was Zach and Biggs. So they rescheduled me and Ethan for the end.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't fix my speech. I see that Zach gets 15, Dom gets 10, Biggs gets 17, Ethan gets 18, and I'm all alone I'm at the last day, the third day. So I'm on that bus alone. I'm sitting in the cell alone. And I have to do this without my brothers for the first time. And, the night before, everybody's like, hey, we're praying for you. Everything's going to be okay. I think I talked to you guys on the phone. And I get into that courtroom and they slam me with the 22 years. And I go to the back. And like, when they give you that many years, it's not reality.
Right.
I've often wondered.
I'd imagine, like, if you're 2 years for most J6ers, because I was one of the lucky ones that they waited to get like a year later, when most people have been in for a long time. I'd imagine that some people that got like 3 or 4 years and they've been in for like 2 years, it's more of a relief, and they've been like, okay, the big part's behind us. When now I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm not even 10% in,
Right.
and it's been a nightmare. So I get on the bus and we get to DC jail, and I'm like, I can't let these guys like feel bad. So I get into the Sally port and I see the window, and everybody has like this, like they're at a funeral,
Yeah.
and I walk in and instantly I'm like, high score, motherfuckers. Beat that, bitch. And so everybody starts laughing, but inside I'm like, I'm still processing.
Yeah.
Instantly get on the phone with my family, and that was my first concern. I was like, if I'm like this, I imagine my mom, my girlfriends, my dad, everybody. And I get on the phone and I'm like, look, it's going to be okay. And I know it's not going to be okay. At that time I knew it wasn't going to be okay.
Okay.
It wasn't. Go ahead.
That's not say as far as
Come get in a conversation.
As far as Guy Reffitt goes, I got to know Guy Reffitt because Nicole was on the phone with him all the time, and I got to know him in that way. And I would like to say he was always supportive, encouraging, and calm. And he, in his heart, as far as I know, he believed things were going to turn out okay. And he kept that strong, and they were strong for each other. So it was a beautiful thing to watch. But also, your mama, J6 was hard on mamas. Hard on mama.
It was on me.
Perhaps.
Yeah, no, your mom, I'm just going to give a shout out to your mom, though. She sat in that courtroom, and any of us that have had to, it is very hard to hear how they talk about your person and your people. And your mother was very stoic, because that is also another important. It was an important aspect to me in the courtrooms. Like you're saying, you made a speech because you wanted your boys, to feel stronger.
Yeah.
Well, by design in those courtrooms, they were tearing people apart. They were making people afraid to show up for friends, for family, for all of that. And, but your mother was so stoic, and it was important for them to see they weren't getting to hurt. At least they didn't see it.
Yeah.
Internally it's hard.
Yeah.
But outwardly she was a warrior.
Yeah, she was. She's a warrior. She supported me through this whole thing. My family did.
Right.
That's why I always say, like, people look at the 22-year sentence and they're like, oh man, the Proud Boy leader, and all that doesn't mean shit, right? Because I say, like, I'm really one of the lucky ones, one of the luckiest ones, right? Even through all of that, because I had my support system.
Yeah.
Right. I lost like material things, like we had to sell the car and a whole bunch of other shit. While some people that probably didn't do any time or did 10 days, they probably lost a lot more than I did. They lost their careers, their families disavowed them. They're not allowed to see their kids anymore.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't trade that. I'd do 3 more years and not have to have that loss. Right. So sometimes you got to see, because what's the measurement, and going into another subject is this weaponization funds, which is, I think, is different than like when you do a tort claim or anything else. Like in this fund specifically, how do you gauge loss?
Right.
Right. Do you gauge it by years? Do you gauge it by actual like loss? Do you gauge it by loss of family? Like what's all that worth, to Mickey?
Well, no, that's exactly it.
Or Jerry,
right?
Right. Matthew Perna, we're not getting him back.
Right. Right. Well, like for the Jan Sixers, and I think for the ones that lost people like Mickey, Jerry Perna, that pain's never going to be compensated.
Yeah.
Ever.
There's no amount of money that
There's
you
nothing that you can never make them whole again. And even with giving some of the Jan Sixers part of a fund is not going to solve the problem that of losing their families, because that has been, I think, what did I hear? It's like the divorce rate in Jan Sixers is like 40%.
Yeah.
And that's staggering. And that was by design, I feel also. You have to think when they took Guy, not Jackson. They took Jackson too, but in a different way. When they took Guy January 16th, I did not see his face again in 14 months later. Took me and that
For a visit.
we didn't even get visits. I saw him in the courtroom. That was the first time I saw him during jury selection.
I saw him a lot, at least for a 48-hour period.
Yeah.
Well, people may forget early on they had those crazy restrictions, like you couldn't see your family unless you got the COVID shot and stuff, right?
Right. And that was a stipulation in the DC jail then, is that when they even allowed visitation for the Jan Sixers, you had to be vaccinated. But it took months and months and months to even get visitation for Jan Sixers that were in the DC jail anyway. And that does tear a family apart. And they made J Sixers out to be criminals and terrorists and all these things. Well, people believe it. I tell people all the time, people get to know Guy, people that spent time with Guy or did time with Guy, knows what a calm person he is. Like, he's very collected. He's all these things. But if you read about him in the paper, you would think he was a monster. That and even Jan Sixers that meet him are like, oh, I didn't expect you to be like that. I don't know what they thought they were going to get, but the media plants this seed. And that is why the weaponization fund is important for so many of these people. And how do you gauge that? I think the greatest loss would be the loss of your family, obviously. You can't compensate that. But how's the weaponization fund going to compensate someone that was in jail for, 2 years, that lost everything, to someone who spent 10 days?
Yeah.
And the pain and the persecution is still there. And, and that's where all the hard feelings are going to come in.
That leads me to another subject. It took me about a year to realize this about the people around me, because when we first got out, everybody was pretty happy, right? And I'm like, okay, there's not a lot of PTSD here. There's some, It's not a lot. I did notice it in Joe.
Mhm.
All right, guys, let's see if we can get maybe an issue. Yeah. All right, well, let's see if we can get everything going back up. Probably an issue with the satellites. Give me a sec. Let me do some things here. I'm gonna do some things. Yep. So I got word say they having satellite issues, guys. Give me just one sec. Everything will be back up in a minute. Yep. I'm not good at this ad-libbing stuff. They are readjusting the satellite, and they shall return very shortly. In the meantime, let's do this. Thank you. All right, we are back. No, we're not back. Yes, we're not back. We were back. We're not back. There he goes. And you're back, buddy.
Yeah. Sorry about that. There's a thing here where
Yeah.
people like to turn off fucking vehicles
Hey, let's not
nonstop.
not do that.
I don't fucking get it.
I'm not good.
They're
at
like,
this
I'm sorry, I turned it off.
I'm not good at this ad lib thing, so I'll just play commercials.
Yeah. Yeah, we're back
right.
up.
Get back into your story, brother.
Yeah. All right. So I started seeing the cracks in a lot of people, including myself, a year in, and you're starting to see some J6ers like act up and like people get mad at them. And I don't get mad at them because, well, in some cases they were like this before.
Right.
Very few cases. But in some cases, like you're seeing the like, we got to lash out. We got to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to be corrected and compensated because I've always said this, J6ers sit on 3 pillars, and this includes families and advocates. The first pillar were the pardons and commutations. And I worked very hard, very, very hard for a whole year to just focus on pillar 1. Right. I would mention pillar 2, and we'll tell you what pillar 2 is, but I would focus on pillar 1, those 12 commutations and those people that were still in jail for another charge that was given when they came in to do the raids. That's what I pushed. People were like, Livewire, which I call Tim because for a long time I thought his name was Tim. When we finally got his pardon, it was a relief. It was a step in the right direction. Then about like 2 months ago, we saw that the DOJ pushed to throw out our case in its entirety.
Right.
Which is even better than a pardon. Yeah. Right. And I figure that pillar 1 is at 99% completion. There's still some people to fight for. But now I shift my focus, not completely, I shift my focus to pillar 2, which is compensation, right? For restitution for the things that they've gone through, right? And we're beginning to see it. I shifted it by, I think we're one of the only ones with an actual lawsuit. Everybody else, for the most part, has tort claims. Right. And that was a part of the fight to move the needle. Now we get the 1776 weaponization fund going. And it's a good start. I hope. And maybe it's the end. I don't know. Let's see. Let's hope it's not. Because if you divide that up, and it's not just J6ers that apply for that. It's like COVID families, Catholics, anti-abortionists, Mike Lindell, people like that. Mm-hmm. That includes them. So I figure it's about like 2,000 people. If you split that up, it's not enough, right? It's not enough because there's so many people. It's not 100 of us. So I think it's a really good start. I think I've been very, very critical of the DOJ. All of 2025, I've been mashing the gas on the DOJ. For the past 2 months, I have seen nothing but great things come out of the DOJ. I was big against Todd Blanche. But now I'm seeing that he's actually taking a step forward. He's fighting it. We saw him in the congressional hearing take a bold stance.
He did. He was really strong in that hearing.
Yeah. So I gotta call balls and strikes, and I think he's done a great job. The third pillar that J6ers is accountability.
Yeah.
The people who did this, and I'm talking about everybody, from the little secretary, from the paralegal to the prosecutor to the FBI agents to the judges to the actual attorney general, which should be very easy to get. I don't know why haven't gotten them yet. Those are the three pillars that J6ers stand on, and I think, like I said, with this weaponization fund, I think we're moving in the right direction. But that PTSD is part of that second pillar. How do you fix that? I don't
How
have
do
an
you
answer
fix
to
that?
Third pillar is accountability, arrests of those who did this, because without that, it's going to happen again.
Well, yeah, and that was some of my problems. I'm with the pardons, and people kind of look at me sideways about that. But there were a lot of There was a lot of charges. I was afraid that I wanted to go all the way to the Supreme Court, so people didn't get charged with that again. And that's like how I feel like what they're trying to do is sweep so much of that under the rug. And I mean, we all see it because there hasn't been any accountability at all as of yet. All we can do is be prayerful over that. But, they don't want to talk about what really happened. And so I don't see how, to me, that is part of the compensation. To see these people go down, because you see people, their entire lives are ruined. Monetarily, you may give them $1, but like you said, now they've lost their kid, they've lost their wife, they've lost all of this. Money's never going to bring that back, but maybe a firing line might.
Yeah. I
So, I mean, and I feel like it would help me.
Yeah.
I feel like that what they've done to people, and if it's not shown publicly to everyone what they did, it'll just continue to happen. And then are we all, as advocates, the J6 families, J6ers, they have so many afraid to do anything.
Correct.
And that's by design also, but how do we get around that? Where's the answer?
I don't have an answer to that. I don't think anybody has an answer to that, but how you get closer is that financial compensation.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Firing line, like you said.
I like it.
With accountability, like what about groups like and never happening again, like groups like Sedition Hunters and how they were working with the government and the FBI, right? Like that's so scary. Yeah.
But I think Jan Sixers have a lot to look forward to. But even some that have been successful, and I don't want to name names, you can start even seeing now the breakdown because there is so much anger and hurt, and there's nothing to compensate. I mean, and I get your point. Money is a good compensation.
Well, it's a good start.
It is a good start, but I mean,
it's a good start. It's a good start. I all know people who are living day to day, hand to mouth. They keep getting jobs. They keep getting fired. They can't feed themselves, right? Like that's the start. And 1776 Memorial Fund, is that not obviously symbolic?
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Which is, for me, it's great because, they got me on this document called the 1776 returns. And I guess it's 1776 returns again with this compensation fund.
With extra zeros on the end.
Yeah. And I keep hearing something that I keep hearing from the left, and I love it, is like they're afraid what these J6ers are going to do with this money.
Yeah.
Right?
Financial lawsuits.
Yeah. And if I was a leftist shitbag, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
And not for the same reason that they think they're like, oh, well, they're going to make a militia out of it. Although I think a lot of J6ers are going to spend their money on firearms. But
security system.
I think a lot, and from what I hear from the J6 community, I'm part of a lot of group chats. A lot of them want to use this money to start some type of political act.
Yes,
right? A lot of philanthropic that have to do with the culture, the conservative culture. Some of them I've heard that they want to use it to run for office, right? And there's nothing scarier to the establishment and the left than a J6er with actual power,
Right.
right?
People behind.
Because we see what's wrong in the system and we're not afraid.
You have moral authority because
Yes.
you face the beast down and it's men.
Yes. So I think they have reason to be afraid, not for what they think, but I think there's a huge culture shift. I've always said it when I came out, from when I went into prison to when I came out, it's almost like I walked through a
portal.
a portal of some type of different dimension where right wing culture is cool. Elon Musk owns Twitter. I mean, we're on here because of Starlink.
Yeah, that happened between 21 and 23.
I mean, we're on and off here because of Shane. You know, name drop. But like I kind of walked into like this dimension that I didn't think would ever exist, and that all happened because of multiple things that happened at the same time. All of us pushed so hard in 2016 to change the culture, and then you guys fought so hard for us out here, and then now we're sitting. You're seeing the craziness because it should have ended the day of the pardon, right? It should have been like, okay, this is over.
Yeah, no,
Party's over. Now we're sitting in fucking middle of Colorado where we have to use Starlink to get
on a
it's
dirt
in
patch.
front, about 500 feet away from Tina Peters fighting for her.
Right. Well, because after you see it, you can't unsee it. And if you're and you can't be afraid to keep on doing it. I use the word afraid a lot, but it's because they made people so afraid. And the thing that worked for us in DC was consistency. You know, we were consistent. They knew we were going to be on the corner every single night.
The thing they wanted.
They knew that we were going to be in the courthouse. I mean, and it's not that, I'll use the courthouse as an example of DC. It's not that they were on our side at all, the workers, the bailiffs, the officers, any of that. But they stopped Mickey and I one time getting in the elevator, and they were like, I just want to tell you ladies that I would not want to be on the other side of you. And it's not because that we're like these, mean women. It's that we were always going to show up, and people showing up makes a difference, and not quitting, and consistency. And when people see consistency, they believe in that movement, so, yeah.
I believe that our little haters were financed by whoever to break it because it terrified them so much. They wanted us to be off that corner. They did not want you walking into that courtroom showing support to any J6er.
And look, I want to address something here, since you've made tens of millions of dollars off this. There's a Ferrari there. You live in a palace. A lot of people always ask about the palaces and the Ferraris from the grift, this J6 grift.
Yeah, guys at our island this weekend.
Yeah, guys at your personal island. I'm going to ask a rhetorical question here, but how much money do you make off of doing this?
Yeah, it's been so much.
Yeah.
Even while living it, we shared everything. We lived like a little broke poor family. Share a meal of the day, and if you wanted to eat something else, you better go get it yourself because there's only so much money, right?
People don't understand. Like, you lose not just money, just doing this, you lose everything.
Dude.
You are sacrificing everything.
Well, yeah, we left our kids. I mean, I didn't leave my kids. Wait, they were grown kids. But we made a leap of faith to leave our family to go and stand outside of a jail because it was important. And it's not because you make money. People call a lot of us grifters and everything because you show up at events. Well, we're not like the left. We don't have anybody paying us. Supporters are amazing and they try to help out as much as they can. But, no, you don't make any money doing this. It's not about money.
It was all a God thing for it to even be possible.
Well,
Yeah.
J6 definitely made a family.
In order to do this, you have to give up something you love, something tangible. You have to completely lose it in order to do this. In order to make a change, you have to get that thing that you love and you have to lose it. Maybe not willingly, but you know you're going to lose it. And we've all lost not just years of our lives, we've lost friendships, we've lost finances. Like I'm not here. Look, I'm here with probably 3 figures in my bank account right now.
Mhm.
And, other people would say, well, your money would be better spent if you would have stayed at home.
Right.
You would have done something.
But
And
would have
and
been
it wouldn't
changed.
be better. We're out here with a good amount of viewers seeing this and opening eyes. Number one across from me is Tina Peters.
Right.
And she's probably locked down right now in her room. And she's probably looking outside her window right now. And it's like, man, these people love me.
Yes.
They're still out there.
And that's and that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
And
After a little bit, it doesn't become like a sacrifice. This is what you have to do.
yes.
It's not a choice after.
Like, it doesn't feel like a sacrifice, is what I'm saying, because it is.
Look, we've had a couple of people that stopped by to find out what we were doing out here. Well, even doing a flag wave or anything like that, Freedom Corner's message was always, it doesn't matter if you have 2 people with you or you're by yourself. We had lots of supporters go and flag wave by themselves. That does not matter. If you get one person to think about what that flag means while you're waving that flag, you've done your job that day. You've made someone have some insight and think, man, I love my country, or I want better for my country. And if you accomplish that, then you made every, it's a great thing. And that's what this is here. Tina, seeing us out here, I can't imagine being locked up and feeling like people have forgotten about you. And then you look out and you see a flag for you. I just hope it's, I hope she loves it. And she does.
Yeah.
She's great. She's great. And you see the other inmates look out.
Right.
Can you imagine what they think? How many
They're like,
people-
wow.
Wow.
And they get to see it. Maybe they don't know what's going on, but now they do. They're like, man, this woman, because you can imagine at first they're like, they're not going to give you a pardon. The president can't pardon you. Then the president pardoned you, but
It doesn't affect you.
it doesn't affect her yet. I mean, I'd like to see that go all the way to Supreme Court because it's never been tested. And now they're like, shit, this is power. This is powerful. And then there's this group of people sitting outside because there's more people looking at us right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's eyes on right now, including Tina's
Right.
right now. And I went through this, a week before January 20th. And they locked us down. They pat searched us. They got us naked. I was fucking like, I don't give a shit. I'm going home. And they're like, I don't think he's going to pardon you. I'm like, I guarantee you he's going to pardon me in the first couple minutes. And you're going to have to release me.
I'm gonna walk out
And I'm going to walk right out those doors.
on my feet.
They did.
Yeah.
They held me. And they told me that the pardon might not apply to me to the language in it. I don't know if have you heard the story? Yeah, the warden had to drive down, so I'm in a shoe cell for like 4 hours. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? I'm pardoned. Let me out. And I got a funny story about that too. I have a fake ego where I just say things just to say things, and I really don't mean it. It's just, but warden she's like across town, and she comes in and she puts me in her office, and she's like, look, I know I got to release you, but technically the pardon doesn't cover you. And I hadn't read the pardon yet. And the pardon says anybody that was in or around the Capitol. And she's like, I don't know what around means. So I got to call the administration. So they throw me back in my cell overnight. And
Did you sleep?
no,
Okay.
I had an illegal cell phone. Shit, I shouldn't have said that. Whatever. I had a little illegal cell phone. I'm messaging my mom. She's like, hey, don't worry about it. We already got contacted. You're going to be gone.
Text me and tell me he's not going home.
Cool. So you didn't have to.
No, what would you say, Reno?
I said he texted me and told me he's not coming home.
Oh, yeah. And So whatever, they knock on my door at 6 a.m. They're like, all right, pack your shit. I'm like, dude, I'm already fucking packed. This is the second time you do this. I was packed yesterday. And there's nothing to pack, you know?
Yeah.
And I get to the R&D so they could release me. And like, I'm there and I'm like, man, do you guys got security outside? And he's like, the guard's like, for what? I'm like, all the fucking cameras and the protesters. He's like, yeah, sorry to tell you, buddy. There's nobody out there. There's like literally not even the person that's coming to pick you up is out there. And I'm like, fuck.
Shot to the ego.
Yeah, I shot to the ego. Fuck off. But I walked out there and there was somebody from I believe it was, I forgot, Patriot something, American Patriot Relief, I think. It was Sue that had contacted them and told them to come by. And yeah, they were there. I already had a ride, so I just sat in his car because it was hell had frozen over. It was snowing in fucking Louisiana.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
it hadn't snowed in like decades.
Extra full those days.
It was.
And walked out and it wasn't real. It wasn't real.
Surreal.
That happened when you. A lot of culture shift that happened when you guys were in jail. Remember all the transgender stuff and all the violent crime during 21, 22 when they were trying to invoke their anarcho tyranny on the nation. So I can imagine, and like AI and all that, right?
Yeah, I had heard about AI while I was in there. I'm like, it's bullshit. I'm like flying cars.
Yeah,
that's
what I want.
But I am low battery on my laptop. We've been on here for a bit.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you, all of you, that sat in that corner or advocated for us. But it was because of you guys that were there, right?
And
you put it in the ear of the person who had the power to change things constantly.
well, I know that we were relentless. I mean, we weren't relentless, whatever, but it was our privilege to be out there. I wanted to fight for my husband. Mickey, I can't give up enough love to Mickey Whithall
Amen.
and, her fight for Ashley. And we still want justice for Ashley. I want to put that out there. There's no statute of limitations on murder. And it would be great to see Michael Bird have accountability
Of course.
for that day. So, that there's still so many things that we want to see happen. So I hope that we all continue to fight together. I think Jan Sixers have a really good opportunity to make things happen if we can work together doing it.
Prison reform too.
Prison reform's a big thing.
It's a
Biggs
big
wants to focus on that big time now after he gets all his benefits back and
Who is
stuff. Biggs.
Good.
Biggs is big on prison reform.
good?
Yeah, I think so many.
With Tina.
Yeah, because I think so many Jan Sixers have their own agendas. Guys' big thing is taking how they force pleas on people,
Yeah.
and because after you're inside, you really see it's not just Sixers that they use this system against.
Yeah, of course.
Decades against our Brown brothers.
Yeah, they didn't learn how to do this with us. Like
Yeah.
I noticed that during
They're
trial.
trying to perfect
This
it on a bigger
machine
scale.
is decades in the making. Any political dissidents this has happened to during the civil rights era, in some cases. During the 70s and 80s, we've seen this happen. So I want to thank you guys. Thank you guys for
We love you, brother. Thank you for having us.
Okay, we appreciate
always here, always loyal.
Amen.
Yeah, she blew me kisses. I saw her. Yeah. They were.
Drew a big old heart in the air for you too, didn't you?
Somebody, Tina's gonna break my heart like that cop broke my heart when I told him, yeah, there's cameras outside. She's gonna be like, yeah. All right, Reno, come on screen. I appreciate you for always being there too, Reno.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
And we'll be
stay
back in
warm.
action. We'll probably do another one of these tomorrow.
All right. I'll be around.
All right, guys, signing off. Hit that outro, Reno, and we are gone.
brother. We'll see you later. Love you.
Hooroo.
friends, it's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
And FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are